Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be fishing glide baits for the first time. If you've been watching some of my videos recently, some unboxings and stuff like that, I've got some swimbait rods, I got some glide bait stuff, and we're going to try and fish some big baits this year. I got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to try and play around with, but ultimately my main goal of the day is to, one, get familiar with how glide baits work, because I've never fished a glide bait before. I know that I've done some research to figure out like what I'm supposed to do so that I'm not just out here doing anything. I wouldn't try and learn a new technique and not do any of the research first. But I've done a bunch of research on gear, equipment, everything I needed to know about that. Retrieves, basically getting my knowledge underneath me so I know what I'm doing here. And then now I'm just going to practice it as time on the water to learn how to catch fish on glide baits and when they're effective and when they're not. So the first thing we're going to do, I don't know if I picked the ideal day to do some glide bait fishing, but this is what we got to work with for the day. I thought it was going to be way different weather conditions. It ended up not being that way. So we kind of are stuck with what we got. I have two glide baits on. I have a different swim bait on one of my swim bait rods for another video if this actually goes well. I did just catch a big smallmouth. I'm actually going to try and target smallmouth with these glide baits. I'm not trying to target largemouth, but I won't say no to a largemouth. I was just filming another video. I caught a big smallmouth on a chatterbait up next to a dock. I've caught a couple muskie, so even if I catch a muskie, at least I know I'm fishing the bait right, because they're not going to eat it if it's not looking natural, because they're not stupid. So basically, just goal of today's video, learn how to fish a glide bait, teach you guys my experience fishing it the first time, and everything you need to know, and hopefully catch one bass. That's all I'd really be happy with. If I catch anything more than one bass, that's incredible. But we're just trying to catch one fish today to learn how to do this. We're going to be fishing it around these docks, hoping for a random pre-spawn smallmouth. Well, not really random. I know they're up there. But looking for a pre-spawn smallmouth that's willing to bite this. I have... this is a 7.3 heavy that I'm throwing this glide bait on. This is probably what I would start with if you were ever going to start glide bait fishing. This is the 6th-inch draw. I'll leave the link in the description below. If you want to use my code Quince, you can save 10% off your order and get some money off on any of your 6th Sense baits and help me out a ton to keep making videos for you guys. But this is only a 6.5-inch bait. Like, it's meant to mimic, it's an alternative to a jerk bait or a fluke or stuff like that in some of those scenarios. So a 6.5-inch bait is really not that big. A fluke is 5 inches long. A Megabass Vision 110 is like 5 inches long. And those fish eat that all the time. So a 6-inch bait does not scare me. It's a good place to start to learn how to use the bait and get confidence. The biggest thing when trying to learn how to use a bait is to get bites. When you get bites, you know you're doing the right thing and you gain confidence. I don't have the right reel on here, but like I said, I got a different swim bait rigged up on another rod that I'm using for a later video. But basically, we're just going to look around these docks with this 6-inch bait. And if it works, I have a 9-inch glide down there, the draw, the full-size draw. I would love to throw that too. I don't know if a smallmouth would eat a 9-inch draw. A largemouth, maybe, but that one's going to be more of a long shot. But the 6-inch draw, no doubt I'd be able to catch a fish on this. So I'm just going to keep this thing darting around these docks where I think there would be a smallmouth, and hopefully we'll get a bite. If I can't keep this thing down in the strike zone because of how windy it is and everything, I do have some metal wire that I've done with my jerk baits before. I've showed you guys how to rig jerk baits and put some wire around the hooks. I have some of that so that we can do that as well if we need to. But ultimately, I'm just going to try and slowly keep this thing darting in place where I think there's going to be some big smallmouth. But we'll get to it and see how it goes. This draw I have rigged up on a 17-pound test, and the other one, since it's the big boy, I got it rigged up on my big swim bait rod with a 25-pound test. So we'll see what happens. Basically, from what I've read about glide bait fishing, is you kind of just flare your reel handle like this, and it'll get the bait to dart back and forth because of the joint that's in the glide bait. So that's what we're gonna do. See if we can catch us one. Wow, I nailed that. We got one already. That was insane. He absolutely wrecked that. Wow, that was so cool. Now I need him to not come off. He literally ate it off the top of the water. Oh my gosh, it's a giant largemouth. Is it? Yeah, it is. It's a largemouth. Ugh, look at that fish. Okay, maybe we will throw the 9-inch glide. That's my first bass ever on a glide bait, completely uncut. I started on that dock back there, tried learning how to fish this, and we got us one on the old glide. So that was an awesome bite, super explosive. That fish came out there and absolutely wrecked it. And we're gonna keep on throwing this thing and see if we can catch us some more, because that is a beautiful springtime largemouth. Like I said, that's how you build confidence in a bait. Not that it wasn't planned or anything like that, but like I said, I've never fished a glide bait before, but that's how you build confidence. You go out, you fish the bait, learn how to use it. So we'll keep going to try and build more confidence. 4.5 pound largemouth on the glide. First fish I've ever caught on a glide bait. Look at her. See you, girl. I think the biggest key here is going to be trying to keep this as close to the docks as I can, because they're probably going to be huddled under there tight. But if they see a giant glide bait coming by the dock, they're not going to turn around and say no. They'll come out and get a piece of food if it's tempting enough. So I think it's just going to be me trying to put it in the right place to make it tempting enough for one to come out and grab it. Because that's two giant... There's another one. Oh my gosh. It's another giant. Oh, that one's a pike. I knew that was coming. But like I said, I'll be happy with pike too, because that teaches me that I'm using the bait properly, because they're not going to turn it down if they think it's a piece of food. A bass will think it's a piece of food as well. It's just a matter of putting it in front of a bass. And I'm gonna get a pair of pliers before I lose a finger off this fish, because he ate it all the way down in there. Nice little pike. See you, buddy. Now I would love to get the trifecta here and catch a smallmouth doing this too, because I truly believe a smallmouth would eat this glide bait. I've caught plenty of big smallmouth out of this lake on big soft swim baits, mag drafts, other types of soft swim baits that I've fished that are 5, 6, 7 inches long. Maybe not 7 inches, but like in that 5 to 6 range. I've fished a lot of different types of swim baits like that out here on this lake, and I've caught a lot of smallmouth doing so, and big ones too. I get explosive bites. I target bigger fish doing so. So in my mind, I thought the glide bait would also be a perfect choice here, and you'd be able to target big smallmouth with a glide bait, basically mimicking a darting bait fish or a jerk bait or something like that. So far we got 2, but one's a largemouth, one's a pike. But I'd love to see if smallmouth would bite this too, because if it is, that'd be another deadly way to catch them on this lake. There we go. Another big largemouth. Don't come off. Ugh. 2 largies. No smallmouth yet. I thought we would get one, but not yet. That one just got the tail of it. I was just slowly working it right off the corner of that seawall there, just kind of keeping it in place. It seems the more in place I keep it, the more bites I get. Like if I target cast it right to a certain area and just kind of float it instead of covering water with it, I seem to catch a couple more. That's not a big fish at all. So again, building confidence with the bait, learning that you can catch fish that aren't giants, on a glide bait. I know, like I said, a 6-inch glide bait, not very big. Doubt this fish would have eaten the 9-inch, but you never know. It might be something we experiment with here in a little bit, just to see if I can get one to bite it. But for now, if they're gonna keep biting the 6-inch, I'm gonna keep throwing it as long as I can build confidence. That's only a 2.5 pounder. Ate that big old glide bait. See you, buddy. There we go. Wow, he's tiny. That thing actually just ate that. That's crazy. 1 pounder. We got 14 pounds for the day, but we got plenty of room to upgrade. We have one under 2 at a pound, and we got one at 2.5 pounds. So 3 big bites on the glide, and we can have quite a bag today. So we're gonna throw him back, see if we can start upgrading. There we go. Another one. Another one on the glide. Whoa. It's a fat one. All largemouth. I still haven't got a smallmouth to fall for it yet, but I feel it coming. Another fat largemouth. That's an upgrade, that's for sure. Get rid of that tiny one we just caught and get a little bit bigger on our best 5 here. We're doing some damage with the glide. I love it. Like I said, perfect way to build confidence on new techniques. My number one thing is to try and find the best conditions that you can possibly use that bait to learn everything you can about it. So that's a 3 1/4 pounder. We're up to, I didn't save him. Hang on. 16 pounds for the day, with almost all of it coming on that glide bait. I think 2 fish weren't on the glide bait right now. But like I was talking about, the way that I like to learn new techniques is to find the best conditions that you can do to use that technique. So then I go out there, catch fish, build confidence. So like today, I wanted to learn how to use a glide bait. I went to a clear water fishery that had largemouth and smallmouth. I picked the correct size glide bait that I wanted to use for the conditions. Natural color, mimics the bait fish that are in here, and I'm just gonna go fishing. Like, I've had the trolling motor down, just fishing. I haven't done anything else but just cover water with the thing, learn how the bait works, learn the correct action, build that muscle memory. If I were to do this with a jerk bait, I'd pick a place that probably had smallmouth. I'd go to a steep clear water fishery. I would use a jerk bait, and I would go around the lake and I'd just keep fishing that jerk bait. I'd alter my retrieves, my cadences. I put some weight on my bait. I was getting less bites, so I put some weight to get it down in the column. I'm fishing in a little bit deeper water, so I'll play around with different ways to alter the bait, do stuff like that. Same thing, if you wanted to learn a crankbait, I'd go find a place that had some rocks and some wood and some bait fish eating fish, and I'd learn how to do it with a crankbait. I would do this with every technique. That's how I've learned almost every technique that I have in my boat and that I use on a regular basis, is just going out there and building confidence with it. So had a ton of fun fishing the glide bait so far. Let's see if we can get us some even bigger ones, and if we can check off that smallmouth. Oh, I watched him come out and destroy that. Oh no. See if I can get him to come back and bite it again. I literally watched him come out from underneath the dock as soon as I paused that and rip that thing. No way I'm getting him to bite again. I got him to bite again, and it's a mega one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do not come off. Do not come off. She's barely hooked. Oh, don't do that. Oh, there we go. We got her. She got another hook in her. Look at that. She ate it once, missed it, and came back and bit it again. Skinny fish, but a big fish. Biggest one of the day, almost a 5 pounder. See ya, girl. That was sweet. All right, we got 19 pounds now. And if we can catch a 3 1/2 pounder, we'll crack 20 on the glide. Let's see what we can do. Another bass. Another largemouth. He's very light in color. He's also very small, so we're not even going to weigh him because he's not going to help us at all. But another one on the glide, building some confidence. See you, dude. Oh, that was sick. That was sick. I literally watched him come out and smoke that. Big old bass. That was so cool. I was working it down this up current side of this point of this dock here. I'm actually gonna get us out so we don't hit this dock. I was working it right off the point of that dock right there. I was working it, zigzagging it. It got up to the poles and I saw him come out and chase it as it went away from the dock. I twitched it back and I swam back towards the dock and he just came over and annihilated it. And there's a good chance that's gonna put us over 20 pounds for the day, because our smallest fish is a 2.5 pounder. Yep. 418. Almost 21. Almost. We are smashing them. That's a big one. That's a big one. Oh, he's not that big. I don't even think that fish is gonna help for the day. That's still an awesome fish though. We had a heck of a day on this glide bait. Sometimes learning new techniques goes very well. Sometimes it does not. But this time we got lucky and we are catching them. Wow, doesn't even help. 3 pounder, no good. See you, buddy. Oh my gosh, he smoked it. He literally yanked the slack right out of the line. See if I can get him to come back and eat it again. Got him that time. He came back and ate it again, and it's a giant. Oh my gosh, it's a giant. Oh my gosh, it's a giant. Please stay on. Please stay on. Do not come off. Do not come off. Oh my gosh, it's a freaking tank. I got her. Oh, no, it wasn't recording. Oh no. No. How is it full already? We swapped out cards real fast because I couldn't let you miss this one. Look at that beast of a fish. That's got to be pushing almost 6 pounds. And I think we just had an absolute record-breaking day of glide bait fishing. But I don't think we're done yet. I think we're going to keep going because they're chewing it so hard. Get a picture for the gram. Literally, she ate it. I missed her. Threw the glide bait right back there and she smoked it again. It's like they haven't even seen it on this lake. It's crazy. Honestly, that would probably be my PB if I didn't break it in a video that you had recently just seen before this. It was last weekend I broke my PB. Probably already seen that jig video, but this would probably be my PB. Yep, it would have been my PB. That's hilarious. 634. And the smallest fish we have left is the one that we caught on the chatterbait, a 410 smallmouth. We have almost 24 pounds today. I think we're gonna have to try and go for 24 pounds. Look at that fish. Absolute beauty. We're gonna get her back so she can spawn and live a nice, happy life. Well, unfortunately, it's getting dark, and that's going to do it for today's glide bait fishing video. I hope you guys learned a little bit about something about fishing glide baits. Well, I learned about fishing glide baits today. Safe to say I'm probably going to be an addict for this for a while. I've had so much fun throwing this thing around. The bites were incredible. We caught a ton of big fish, and we finished off with almost 24 pounds for our best 5 today. That's an incredible day up here in Pennsylvania, and I can't wait to get back on the water and throw some more big swim baits soon. Next week, we are probably just going to be fishing local around the house, so we might go do some, I don't know what we're going to do yet. We're going to think about that over the week and try and go do something. I got some Huddlestons, and they've been stocking trout, so I might go throw a Huddleston and try and catch some big bass doing that next week. But if you want to see another video on some of my favorite swim baits for bass, check this one out right here. That's another one of my favorites for catching big bass, big bags of fish. I've really enjoyed throwing that, and now we're going to get on the glide bait. So if you really enjoyed today's glide bait video and want to see me throw more big baits, target more big fish, leave a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.